Dear colleagues, good evening. I am very glad to see and welcome you, and to congratulate you on the successful conduct of another meeting of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Collective Security Treaty Organization. I know that you discussed all current issues not only of today but also worked on future perspectives. We know, as I discuss with my colleagues, that all participants of the organization are firmly committed to strengthening authority and its role in international affairs. Next year, as you know, the chairmanship will transfer to the Russian Federation within the CSTO. We will certainly do everything to strengthen the organization. And, as I recently told my colleagues, the heads of state, our work will certainly continue the efforts made by our KYRGYZ friends. This will ensure full continuity in all main areas of our cooperation. It's clear what they are, clear on which directions. We see the priorities in strengthening our defense capabilities, coordinating our policies in the military and in technical cooperation. The Parliamentary Assembly was created almost 20 years ago, in 2006, and indeed makes a serious, noticeable contribution to improving the harmonization of legislation between our countries in defense and security. I especially emphasize the model law on counter-terrorism issues, which is one of the essential elements of the normative base, without which it is very difficult for us to make any practical decisions. And this, of course, is primarily your achievement, the achievement of your colleagues who worked on this normative act and adopted it together with you, and, of course, under your leadership. The Assembly traditionally does a lot for monitoring elections. This, in my opinion, is very important to ensure the stability of our domestic political agenda. There is no need to say how important this is. You perfectly understand this. I also want to thank you for this, because the creation of such representative and very authoritative monitoring groups helps each of our states to go through, first, these milestone paths related to election campaigns, and, secondly, to emphasize the legitimacy of the political processes taking place in our countries. But joint political statements also matter. The statements you adopted today on the theme of ensuring security in a multipolar world also bear serious significance and send a very good signal externally. We adopted a new 5-year parliamentary cooperation program that indicates that our work is calculated and not tied to current situations. It is calculated not only for the immediate future but also has at least a medium-term horizon. This makes our work stable, predictable, and creates conditions for fruitful work at the level of executive authorities. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Please, Vyacheslav Viktorovich. Dear Vladimir Vladimirovich, you basically said everything. The tasks that the Parliamentary Assembly within the Collective Security Treaty Organization should solve. I would like to emphasize that for us it is certainly important when the heads of states pay attention to the development of the parliamentary dimension. Therefore, when it comes to the Parliamentary Assembly, it can work effectively only if it implements the tasks on the agenda of the heads of state. Actually, this work is what we see before us. We are structuring it because we understand the main priority is forming the legal framework of the Collective Security Treaty Organization. All our decisions are made by consensus. It's not just a process that takes place over time, but we reach decisions which are then implemented within the national legislation. Today, 7 model acts were adopted during the CSTO Parliamentary Assembly session. In quantitative terms, this is a small number, for instance, if compared with any session of a national parliament. But in reality, this is the effect of long negotiations and the development of decisions, the result of which is the adoption of such an act. But it means that all countries supported it and agreements were reached, including within executive authorities. If we talk about the past work, as of today, the legal basis of the Collective Security Treaty Organization's work comprises 104 documents. They have been adopted over time. If we talk about the 5 years, today we have summed up the results of the work. 35 legal acts, model laws, of various formats have been adopted, including agreements. As for prospects, the program was also discussed today. We thoroughly examined it, and we determined for ourselves the production and adoption of 45 more model acts for the upcoming 5-year term, aiming to increase work efficiency. But I want to emphasize once again that what matters most to us is that these model acts do not remain at the level of parliamentary decisions within the Assembly. It is good when they are already incorporated into national legislation, which means we see eye to eye on issues related to combating terrorism, hindering drug trafficking or topics related to the safety in other areas. Today, we discussed issues including information technologies, the development of artificial intelligence. And when we talk about this, undoubtedly, we must ensure a legal field is established. Because on one hand, we need to support and develop it, but on the other hand, there are challenges and problems of today. In one of the EU countries, they appointed a minister in the form of artificial intelligence, and now claims are already being raised against him because he embezzled funds. There are no basic laws regulating issues related to artificial intelligence, robots, and humans. And, of course, when it comes to the organization of the Collective Security Treaty, we need to establish a legal field so that one or the other direction develops effectively on one hand and does not harm people on the other. In this context, of course, we need to exchange opinions, seek the best solutions and practices. And in this context, this parliamentary format is incredibly effective, because we involve a large number of experts. We look at how these issues are resolved in Kazakhstan, Belarus, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Therefore, such a session took place. You correctly stated that next year marks the 20th anniversary of the Parliamentary Assembly's work, and we, on our part, will certainly try to analyze the path traversed and outline tasks for the future. But our main priority is legislative support for the decisions of the heads of state, the CSTO Council. You mentioned this. We follow the agenda of the adopted decisions and try on our part to do everything so that the parliamentary dimension is effective.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.